Good to hear.
Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to the class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, Preethi.
So yesterday we have done with the Jenkins setup, right? Today let's talk about what is continuous integration, what is Jenkins before we get into the hands-on. Okay. Have you all done with your setup? Launched your Jenkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Not yet.
Okay. So first, what is continuous integration? To understand this, let's take up a simple use case for a scenario. Can you all see the black screen? So initially, developers write the code. Okay, there might be a group of developers who keep on writing the code. Now we know what is that. Like they write the code and they push the code to GitHub. Means they make a commit, right? Those are technically called as commits. We already learned Git now, correct? So they make some changes and they push the code to the repository, which is called a commit. Means whenever these developers make a commit, right? So, like commit means pushing the code to GitHub, like they were adding a code to GitHub. So this is called continuous development. Developers make the code, make the commits, and whenever there is a commit, I need a system, okay, an automated system which can sense it, which can pull the code, and which can build the code. What is meant by building the code?
Making sure that your
executable kind of thing.
no, basically making sure that the syntax and everything is lined up correctly. Everything is
Louder,
Compilation.
please. I could not hear you.
Compilation of the code.
Compilation of the code, making sure that the syntax.
We need a system which can do continuous builds. This is where developers are writing the code continuously. This is called continuous development. Then continuous builds. What is meant by continuous builds? Continuous build is nothing but compiling and packaging the code put together is called compiling. Sorry, it's called build. What is meant by again compiling? Converting the source code into executable code is called compiling. For example, developers write the source code, means the code what they write is called source code. Let's say if you take Java, it will be .java files. When you compile it, they'll be converted into .class files, right? Means let's say 10 .java files are there. When you compile it, 10 class files will be generated correspondingly, right? That's what is compiling the code. And then packaging is all this code put together, all these class files put together and generate a single ready to be deployable file is called packaging. Means what is this ready to be? Like we deployed Tomcat. You remember we deployed a var file on Tomcat. So if it is Java, it may be a var file or a jar file, whatever format it is. A single file which you deployed, right? That's called a packaging. So building the code is called compiling and packaging, right? Those two put together is called building the code. So we can't do this. And also you have to do this n number of times in a day. Whenever developer write the code, we have to pull this and do this. So we need an automated system which should identify whenever there is a commit and pull the code and build it. This is continuously, this should happen. So, okay, let's say it has built the code. Let's say there are some syntax errors. Okay, let's say some runtime errors, syntax errors. What should we do? If build fails, build errors, that should be reported to developers, right? Developers will fix it. Means again a code change. Again a code change means they'll make a commit on GitHub. So this keep on continuing until the code, until the builds up. Please keep muted every
Madam, I'm getting some disturbance on this one.
Please keep muted. Now still you are having disturbance. If everyone keep muted, we will not have background noise. So continuous builds. So do this till the code is successful. Like let's say build failed. Okay, sorry. Build fail. It will be reported to developers. They'll fix it and this process keep on continuing till the builds are successful. Let's say build is successful. Okay, it will go for the next stage of continuous testing. Here continuous testing happens, right? So continuous testing is where the test cases written by testers will be executed. Testers will write the test cases, automation test engineers will write the test case. Those test cases will be executed here. And what if tests fail? That should be again reported to developers, right? If there are any bugs or defects, who will fix them? Whom should we report? Obviously to developers, any test case fail. So they'll fix it and this process keep on continuing till all the tests pass. Means all test cases are successful. It is bug free. It is defect free. Till then this process repeats. Once it is all successful, it will be deployed to the next environment, which is called continuous development. Sorry, continuous deployment. Okay, continuous deployment. So, of course, first deploy to lower environments and then to the higher environments. Like first deploy to staging, UAT, pre-prod, then to the prod. So, this is the continuous process. For every commit, this happens. Means you build it multiple times, you test it multiple times, you deploy it multiple times. Every commit they made will be merged into the system and the entire system would be built, tested, deployed so that the new changes are not bringing any side effects to the existing code, right? So this complete process is called continuous integration, particularly this part, continuous development, continuous builds, continuous testing. is called continuous integration. Okay, which is done through a server called continuous Jenkins. Jenkins is a continuous integration server through which you achieve all of this. Right? So Jenkins is a tool, like we have configured Jenkins via.
Madam, before proceeding further, can you please explain one more time, madam, or repeat whatever you mentioned?
Continuous development, continuous building, continuous testing is called continuous integration, and this will be done via Jenkins. Continuous development is nothing but developers keep on writing the code. Whenever they make a commit, the system we need an automated system, which is nothing but Jenkins. Means Jenkins can identify, okay, there is a commit, it will pull the code and build it. And it will also execute the test cases written by testers in automated fashion. And once all test cases pass, it will deploy to the next environment and so on. This is called continuous integration, right? And Jenkins is a tool. It's like an orchestrator or else a manager kind of. There will be something like jobs in Jenkins. A job is like a task. You have to create these tasks, like build a task means which will do continuous builds, test task which will do continuous means which will execute the test case continuously, deploy task and so on. And also, yes, you will create these jobs or tasks. And also Jenkins will not build it, Jenkins will not test it, Jenkins will not deploy it, Jenkins will not do anything. It will orchestrate, means it will make sure it does all of that by using a right tool at the right time. Means at the back end, it may be using Maven for building. It may be using some, like whatever test cases, they may be writing test case in Selenium. So they may be using some Selenium at the back end, or whatever test cases they were. For deployment, it might be using Docker. Means at the back end, it uses a right tool to perform the task at the right time. Of course, you have to configure. You will create these jobs which will use Maven at the back end, or which will run those Selenium test cases or UFT test cases, or which will use Docker, Kubernetes to deploy. So we have to create these jobs by integrating these tools. Okay, and also you will connect them in such a way that build job once executed will execute the next job, which is test job. And test job will execute deploy job and so on. You can also connect them. All of that we will be doing as a DevOps person. Jenkins will facilitate with all of this process for us, which is orchestration. It just orchestrates the things, manages the things. Means it, through Jenkins, we can integrate with different tools and perform all of this tasks. Right? That's an idea of what or how you do that with Jenkins. And yeah, this is continuous integration. Means you integrate n number of times in a day. You build, you test, right? You do this n number of times in a day. Any new feature developed, let's say developers have developed a new feature, it will hit the production servers automatically without manual intervention. See, there is no manual intervention. The trigger is developer writing the code here. But yeah, it is not directly deployed to prod. It will go through all the process, deploy to lower environments, test it, then deploy to higher environment. But all the process is automated via Jenkins. This is called continuous integration with Jenkins. Is this much clear for all of you? Any question?
Yeah.
Preethi, this Jenkins will get the code from a repository, right? Git repository or
Yes.
okay.
Ma'am, when the code is already committed, it means that the code is ready. So it means that we have to directly build it.
Yeah.
Means we just push the code and we just use a build tool to build.
Correct.
Right, ma'am? So, ma'am, where is here? So after the commit or push, so there is no development, right? So it's going to be directly, we are going to build the code and then test the code and then deploy the code. Right, ma'am?
Yeah.
So, ma'am, here the where you have written the C after the you just push. So there is a D. So development build. Yeah. So there is no as such building here code, right, ma'am? We are not building here anything.
Why? What is this one?
Yeah, ma'am, because if the code is already committed, so we are just pushing it and making a build.
No, you have to build it on the server. You have to
Let's ma'am
build
decide,
that
na.
code.
Hey man, please. Let's ma'am decide, na. You are also here to learn, na. Let ma'am decide, na. Please. So ma'am, can you explain me, means how this means, because we already committed the code. The code is already ready. So uh, so we
See,
are
this
just
is the raw
yeah.
code. This is the source code. This is not the build version or else executable version. They will just
Okay.
push the raw code or the source code into the repositories. You have to build the code to deploy it. Means you have to compile the code, you have to make it an executable, you have to package it and deploy it onto the service.
So we are not making code here, ma'am. Code is already ready. So
We
we
are
are
not making the code.
yeah. So we are just compiling it and packaging it,
Mm,
means like with the help of the Maven,
correct.
and then test with any kind of tool and then deploy. So
Mm.
here there is no such development kind of thing here,
No
right, ma'am?
development is there. We will
Okay,
not develop.
because the code is already ready and we are just pushing it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, ma'am. And this is continuously means so all the times the developer will push the code. We are just pushing the code and making the build, test, and then deploy. Ma'am, this is right.
Correct. Correct.
Thank you.
Developers write the code. As a DevOps person, you will never write the code. Developer, there's a separate team who will develop the code. You have to build the code, test the code, and deploy it. You have to implement this pipeline, automate this pipeline. There were so many build automation tools, Raghav, like you have Maven and Gradle. So many tools, build automation tools were there, NPM and so on. Which build automation tool to use? Also, it's a developer call. Developers will decide it. You will just have to implement it in the pipeline. What you need to know from with the respect to build tools, we will learn them. Okay. So this is the continuous integration pipeline. Okay. So this is how the pipeline works. Now, yeah, this is continuous integration. Earlier, we used to have traditional integration. To understand and appreciate the importance of continuous integration, let's also go through the traditional integration. Have you ever worked with traditional integration? Anyone here who worked with traditional integration process?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, okay, first let me go through this. It's a process of automating the build and test process each time a commit is done. That's what we were talking about. Whenever developer make a change, it will go through the complete process of automation. See here the traditional integration and continuous integration differences. If you have worked in traditional integration, there would be a separate integration team, right? And also they will not integrate every day, once in a while, maybe once in 6 months or once in 3 months. Okay, they will be a separate team who will integrate it manually, right? They would spend some sleepless nights. It may be a nightmare actually. Integration will not work because still 6 months code is not merged. Now they are merging, they see lot of errors, lot of bugs because all the code is merged at once. It takes a lot of time to identify issue, to fix the issue. Also sometimes development lead may be involved in it to fix them, right? Also it takes a lot of time. In an overnight it might not be completed. Sometimes they have to continue the process in shifts. Lot of challenges they used to face. Also the code might be working on integration servers but not on other servers. Correct? Whoever worked there, you can understand what I'm saying, right? If you have worked in this kind of traditional integration process. Anyone? Maybe still this process is implemented in some companies, I believe.
Yeah, it's there. I work.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of challenges, right? Because see, all the 6 months code they were merging of one night or one day. They'll allocate some time, they'll merge it. Okay, separate team would be there. Some developers have to involve there to fix them and help them. It might not be working on all servers. Lot of challenges. See here, time gap between the integration events is huge, and integration events were very less, just 3, maybe let's say in a year. See here, multiple times a day. Time gap is very less. So because today new code is done immediately, it's merged. If issue comes in, it's very easy to fix the code which is written at the which is written yesterday or on the same day, isn't it? Also, you know, this issue is coming because of this commit which you made today. So it's very easy to fix, right? So the process is very faster because of this continuous integration. So integration events are less and time gap between them is large. That's what I'm talking about. Integration happen manually once in a while, like once in a 6 months or once in a 3 months in the traditional integration process. Errors, there would be a lot of errors. Some manual errors might be there. It's obvious. It's very sure that definitely if something is manual, there'll be human errors. Time, lot of effort. It could be a nightmare when they say there is an integration event happening, right? So those are all the challenges which are overcome because of this continuous integration. It improves the quality because every change is going to the process over again and again. So it improves the quality, obviously. That's what anyone needs. Client needs a better quality, right? Qualitative products. Increases productivity rather than working on those issues. We can work on means developers can concentrate on their logic, their code, their development, right? Ops teams can work on making the process much more streamlined, much more automation, much more quick, efficient, effective, right? And also it eliminates all the human errors because nothing is manual, everything is automated. So those are all the benefits of continuous integration. And there were so many other integration tools like CodeShift, Bamboo, TeamCity, Travis CI, and so on. But Jenkins is clearly the winner in the category. Okay, there were a lot many tools. See here, there is no equal competitor for Jenkins, I can say. But yeah, there were some other tools being used. GitLab was also used nowadays. They were all still picking up, I can say. Jenkins will be the master in this category. And Jenkins is very easy to learn. And everyone should learn Jenkins. Be you are a developer, you are a tester, let's say you still want to work as a developer only, still you need to know. Because we DevOps teams develop the pipelines. If some issue comes in, we'll send it to developers. Or else developers have to check the pipelines to see where their code is. See, they have to have an overview. They are working the process. In our project, this Jenkins access will be having, DevOps team will have full permissions or full access. Developers will be there. They'll be given some access or permissions like a read permissions, view permissions, sometimes a development lead, okay, not DevOps lead, development manager or a development lead, team lead. They may be given build permissions. So build means here running the pipeline permissions also. So everyone should have an idea. Okay, I would say everyone should learn Jenkins for everything rather than going to DevOps team. Developers also should know, should have good idea of it. Or else I can say developers with a good Jenkins knowledge would be preferred in the coming up days. Sometimes they were asking straight away, you should have Jenkins experience, Jenkins idea on CI/CD pipelines. Developers also should know, even though you want to be a developer. So the point here is everyone should learn Jenkins, be you are from ops or like you are from whatever stream you are, everyone should know it. It is very easy to learn. Here, rather than only the pipeline, at the end, towards the end, we have some script. Until then, everything from the GUI. Yesterday you have seen, Jenkins have got a very good GUI. Majority of the things, 95% will do from the UI only. Okay, only last part, the CI/CD pipeline also will do from UI, but you doing it from the script is the very much realistic approach. That's where you have script. Till then, everything is from the UI. Very easy to use. Only thing is you have to understand properly. So let's begin. I want everyone to put your complete attention here. So yeah, that's about Jenkins. That's why we will be learning Jenkins. Once you get into Jenkins, you will also see the importance of Jenkins, why Jenkins is so widely used. See, I can say because of these features. First thing, it has got a very good GUI. Second thing, it can means it can work or it can be integrated with a lot many DevOps tools or many other tools. It has got thousands of plugins. Through this plugin, you will integrate with different tools. That's why it has got good plugin support. Okay, it's a plugin based tool. Lot of plugins were there. Like yesterday, we installed some default ones. These plugins help you to work or to achieve or implement any functionality. Means in simple, we can say plugins will enhance or extend the functionality of Jenkins. Means, let's say you need some feature in Jenkins, you can go for a plugin, right? So it provides a good community support. See, community support because Jenkins is basically a Java-based application and it's open source, right? You know, a Java application, Java community is so huge. So is the case with Jenkins. It's basically a Java application. It's developed in Java. It doesn't mean that you should know Java or you should learn Java to work with Jenkins. No, it is just developed in Java. That's all. There is again a team of developers for Jenkins, right? That's a different part. Okay. So yeah, that's why it has got a very good community support, open source. It works on multiple operating systems, right? It is very easy to set up. Yesterday we did the setup in few minutes. Only thing is Java is a prerequisite. Prerequisite means Java installation is the prerequisite, not that you should learn it. Okay, install Java and install Jenkins. That's all, like we did yesterday. Easy to set up and upgrade as well. Distributed team management, like I'm talking about in a company, in a project, let's say there are DevOps team, developers are there, testers are there, right? Let's say you are running a pipeline. If you want to give permissions to developers also, they have to check the errors or they have to know where their code is and which stage the code is. So you may be giving permissions to them, but you can restrict which user will have what permissions. All of that possible in Jenkins. We will all look into that as well, which comes under user management. Any more questions here? This is all.
Not a
It is-
question. Not a question. Just want to. I mean, Jenkins is like regarding the plugin. So also like support and custom development also is a very easy. So when we need some custom email template or something, like we can able to write and support. So one
You
of the
can
project
develop your own
yeah.
plugins. You can develop your own plugins provided you are very good in the development. Okay. Anyone can develop their own plugins. Custom plugins can be developed. That's a far advanced provided you have enough programming development skills. Generally, that will be done by Jenkins developers. They develop the plugins. But yeah, if you want, you can.
Ma'am, so ma'am, this is the prerequisite is Java, so it doesn't mean that this platform or Jenkins is only for the Java projects. Any project, PHP or .NET, any project, it is means we can.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yesterday, when I mentioned this, yes, it doesn't mean it's only for Java. It can be used for anything. Just you should know like some idea of what is this application and it's developed in Java. That's an additional info. Ignore it. Don't get confused with that. So now, yeah, enough of theory. We don't have much theory in Jenkins. That's all. Let's begin with the user management, plugin management, notifications, and so on. Let's launch our Jenkins. Listen here and please do the hands-on after the class by watching the video so that you would not miss on any point. So navigate to Jenkins or if it is on port 8080, right? First, you should go to the server and start Jenkins. Start the service.
Preeti, can we install Jenkins on Windows as well?
Yes, of course you can. You can install it very well.
We are going to see on Windows also, or
Only installation will be different. Whether you set up on Windows or Linux, it would be the same. We'll be doing it on Linux only.
And after that, if you install on Windows, the concept is same. Means there is no such effect.
Everything will be same. Yesterday Git also we install. Commands are same. Everything, only installation will differ. Steps, commands, concepts remain same. Okay, so this is our Jenkins. Yesterday we have launched Jenkins. Only for the first time you will get to see the plugin installation. Then some, it will be locked. You have to unlock and all. But next time onwards, yes, you can launch your Jenkins right away with the user you have created yesterday. And yes, this is our Jenkins dashboard. Now let's begin with the concepts here with the hands-on. So first thing first, we were talking about a Jenkins job, right? Like we were talking about there'll be task in Jenkins, you'll create some job and you connect the jobs. These jobs will do everything, right? But what is a job in Jenkins? What is a task or what's an item, whatever you call it? Let's see. See, these terms are used interchangeably in Jenkins, like item or a task or a job or a project. See here, new item or a job, whatever you call it. Let me introduce the concept of job. You can give some name to your job. Let's say job one. And choosing freestyle, there are different types of jobs. We will discuss them as we progress. And it says this is a central feature of Jenkins. Jenkins will build your project combining any SCM and so on. Like it's a freestyle project, means it's flexible enough to create any kind of job. So let us create this. Okay. So yeah, for now, see, there'll be so many sections like this: source code management, build triggers and all. We will look into them one by one. Go to build steps, execute shell. I'm going to write a simple echo print command. Okay, some echo command. That's all. That's all is my job. You can save the job. Right here, there is build now. See, this build is not building the code. Here, build means run the job. Okay, it's running the job. So yes, I want to execute or run the job. Click on build now. If you run it for the first time, you will see it build number one. Click that console output. Yes, it's printing the, means it's executing your shell command. Right? If you rerun, you can rerun it any number of times. That's the advantage. You can just execute multiple times. See build number two, console output. You will see this. Means it is executing. Fine. Now here you have to understand few things. First thing, on which server or on which machine is this job executing? Yes.
EC2 instance.
On the same
VM.
Master
Master
Jenkins.
On the same instance where Jenkins is installed. Correct? This is the one. This is the instance where Jenkins is running. Job is executing there. Means it's same as like how you run any echo command on your server this way from command line. But from command line, I have to keep on running this again and again, right? But this job helped me run it multiple times. Okay, that's the first thing you need to understand. Second thing, which tool or which program is executing this command?
Shell.
It's a shell, it's defined.
That's all. It's a shell program which is executing this command. Like when you write any Linux command, how is this executed? By the shell program, bin bash or bin sh, whatever it is. So the same way, this is being executed by the shell program. You have to understand it's not being executed by Jenkins or Java or whatever. It's being executed by the shell program. What is Jenkins doing here? Jenkins is helping you manage this job so that you can run multiple times. You can schedule it, like you can put a time and tell that time it has to execute, or else it can be connected with other jobs. All of them it can do. And it can also help you start the job. Like I'm starting a job, I'm executing it manually. See, started by user admin because I'm logged as an admin. So these things Jenkins can do. That's what is orchestration. Jenkins will not do anything. Here, shell program is executing the command. Similarly, you may create a test job. You may create a build job. The program, the right program will execute the task. Right? Like here, shell program is executing your Maven may be building the job and so on. Got the point, everyone? These are the two things one should be very clear with. Like, where is your job executing? Who is executing? Or else, like, which program is executing your job? That's the clarity you need to have.
Like it's like we are just uh, push the code and we are compiling it. It's like
Correct. So that's your job. Let me create one more job just to make the things more clear. Job 2, freestyle project. Execution. Let's say here I am running a date command. Date is a Linux command. This output I want to create a file under tmp folder by name data.txt. Meaning here, if you go to tmp folder, here there should be a file called date.txt. So it's not there. But when you run the job, it should create. This makes you things clear that it's running on this server. Okay. So simple Linux command. Let's see. Here it says it is executed. Let's on the server. Can you see that? See date.txt. If I try to open this file, yes. Do you see that? That's a system server time UT6 and UT6, right? And if you rerun it, like build it twice, thrice. Okay, 3 builds happen. Get the file. See, each time it was placing the date out. Right, the server is created on the the file is created on the same server where your Jenkins is running. That's a point you have to note. Am I clear, everyone?
Madam,
So,
in this example, I'm sorry, in this example, we have taken as in the build step, we have chosen as in a scripting, right? So based on that option, it will be executing as in a script in our, I mean, wherever the Jenkins is installed. So as you said, this Jenkins, we can execute any of the tasks, irrespective of any program. In case
yeah,
of Java or a .NET, what would be the option that we can choose it in the build step?
yeah.
Okay, will the Jenkins will tell us if in case we are running different
1
program,
second.
if we don't have
1
any
second. Can you
plugin.
hear me, madam?
I can hear you.
Yeah, my question, did you get that my question or no?
I got it. I answered, right? You are asking, do you go to configure and you choose that option to build Maven or anything like we selected execute shell, right?
No, I'm asking right now we are selecting the shell in case of the Java code or some Python code. We need to build it. How we can do it?
That's what you have to select the program there. Like you are doing in configure, right? Shell, you have to select whatever you want to do, whatever steps you want to do. Like you want to run Gradle steps or anything. If you want to install Python, there will be, you can write here Python. How do you run the Python code? Any idea how do you run the Python code?
Python precompile, Python.
Python and the Python file name. So you put that here. You will put that steps here. And if Python is installed on your server, if Python script is there, it will execute. Otherwise, it will tell you Python not found.
Okay, what is the option? Okay, Maven or build we can select that.
You can select a shell only. Those are shell commands, Linux commands
Yeah.
only, right? Python and Python program. If it says Linux machine, you want to run their shell only. Here you put those commands.
I'd just like to add. So this is like similar to running as a cell in the through SSH. Okay. So whatever the command you able to run, that
Come
you are
again,
able to.
please. This is like. Can you repeat, please? This is like I
Yeah,
didn't understand.
this is like we are running shell. How we connect through SSH and that running kind of a similar. And if our instant have the setup of Java code, even from here we can write a command like a Java -version, so that will run and execute the list out it. So any command we can run over here.
You
So
can run
that's what
any
Madam
command
also try to
provided.
explain.
What? Someone said
No,
something.
I said that even in Java, if you want to run Java C -version, so that will also get given the result. So since it's a shell, right?
Any shell commands you can run here. Okay, I already answered. Either Python I answered the means Java also, right?
Yes,
Anything,
yes.
any execute, you can execute any shell commands here. If you have Java installed, you can run it. If you have Python installed, or else you run blindly, it will give you error if Java is not there or Python is not there. Any shell commands can be written here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Any shell commands can be executed here. And by the way, this is not SSH. We are directly running on the same machine. So it's just Jenkins is running here. This UI you have as Jenkins is installed, you are directly running on the machine, but not SSH used here. Any shell commands you can run here because it's we choose option execute shell.
So in Jenkins, we run executables, right? So can we consider it as a job server, like kind of?
Huh?
Can we consider this as a job server kind of thing?
Job server.
Yeah, like we can run any executables here, right?
You may call it anything, right? You may call it as a job server or orchestrator, anything you can call it, a manager.
Okay.
Through Jenkins, we will create the jobs. We will connect them. Here I am creating simple jobs or a sample job, job 1, job 2, both are executing shell script. Tomorrow I may be creating a compile job, a test job, and also I can connect them in such a way that job 1 will trigger job 2. And another job 2 will trigger job 3, which is a deploy job and so on. Those things we will learn. We are just starting with a sample job to introduce the concept of what a job is.
Okay.
So these are the 2 sample jobs. We will create real jobs, but before that, there are few things we need to go through. First thing, user management. So any administrative tasks like user management or plugin installation, anything will be under manage Jenkins. Right, go to manage Jenkins. Here, if you scroll down under security, you will see this option. Secure Jenkins. Define who is allowed to use or access the system. So here it says authorization. Logged in users can do anything. Means I have a login and password, I can do anything. But that's not a good practice, right? So we need to choose a better authorization strategies. Like there were other strategies. Anyone can do anything. It's not a good option. Legacy mode, the older versions of Jenkins. These two are more useful in real time, like matrix-based security. Here you will add the users and add the permissions. Like I have one user now, we can add it, or else let me create few more users. And by the way, here we are using which type of users? Jenkins own user database, means let's say Jenkins application users. Okay. If I want to create more users like admin, you may go to again security users, create, delete, modify users that can log into Jenkins. These are Jenkins users, not server users. Okay, not Linux users. So I'm creating few users like user 1. email address, create the user. Okay, sorry, I think I have given something else. Let me give properly. You may give anything, but just to avoid confusion. User one is the name. I'm giving user one as the password. Confirm username, full name, some email ID, a dummy email ID. Okay, so user one is the one created. Let me create one more user. User two. User two. User two. Okay, so I have got bunch of users created here. Jenkins application users. Go to manage Jenkins, security, and yeah, now I'll choose the authorization strategy as matrix base. Here we can add the users. First, I would like to, I have 3 users now. I want all permissions. This admin should be an admin. So see, grant all permissions to admin. If you select it, all of them were added. See, these are all different permissions. You don't need to worry about what is meant by this. If you keep cursor, it shows you. This permission grants the ability to start a new build. It explains you every permission. Okay. Similarly, let me add user one. Also user two. If I choose user one, job, build, cancel. Let's say user one should have all permissions on the job. Okay, let's say user one is a senior person. See, overall read permissions should be there. If you don't give overall read, he cannot see anything in Jenkins. It will tell you like overall read permissions missing. First, you should able to give, right? So give overall read, then job specific permissions here. Similarly, user 2 should have overall read. But let's say user 2 is a junior, or else let's say he's a developer. I just want to give him and also developer junior. Okay, only he can view the job. That's all. So only read permissions. Clear with the permissions?
Ma'am, quick question. Is this users are created manually? So is this will integrate with the AD because we need to create again the username and the password everything in here.
Here in our case, we are using Jenkins own user database. Means Jenkins application local database like Jenkins user database, Jenkins application users. So we were creating this. If you want, you can integrate with other Linux or Linux user group on the server, or else you can integrate with Active Directory or LDAP. All of that can be done. Here there are options if you see in the security LDAP, user groups, and so on. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
We are using here, we don't have active directories and all here. So we were using them. If you want, you select that option LDAP or active directory. Active directory, if you want to see that option, you have to install a plugin. We'll see how to install any plugins. You choose that, it will ask for LDAP server details and all. So it will pick up users from there. Okay. It will be helping you with all the options what you should provide. But we don't have all of that. So we were going with this. So manually creating.
Preeti, you called out the credentials and job. What about others? Agent, view, SCM. What are those?
We will discuss what is an agent. Credentials means credential manager. As we go and create the jobs, you will understand. Or else if you want to understand, like I said, so many options are there. You keep the cursor, agent create. Permission allows users to create agents. Means if I give this, user 2 can create agent. But what is an agent? We will learn those things. What is an agent and all, then you will understand these permissions.
Sure, no problem.
Is this much clear? User 1 is having all permissions on the job. User 2 is having only read permissions on the job. Is this much clear for all?
Yeah.
So I'm saving this. Anyway, I'm logged as an admin. He has got all the permissions now. All right, now let me log out. Log in as user 1. See, user one has got the job. See here, he can't say manage Jenkins. Do you notice that? Means he don't have administration permissions. And he can go to the job, he can build, he can configure, means edit, delete, rename, or view, anything he can do on every job. Job two also, yes, right? User one can do everything on the job. Let's log in as user two. Overall read means this one, this dashboard they can see first. See, he is not seeing other options. As well as when he go there, see, he can't build, he can't edit, rename, nothing. He can just see the console output. So this is what is user management in Jenkins. You can decide which person will have what permissions. Am I clear? Understood this? This is called matrix-based authorization strategy.
Madam, are you speaking?
No.
Okay.
User one. User one, let's say. Okay, user. Users. Job one. Job two. User one is having all permissions here on all jobs, on any job. User two is a junior, he has got only 3 permissions or not. Right? This is what is matrix-based authorization strategy. Means if you carefully notice this, a particular user will have same permissions on all the jobs. Right? User one is having all permissions on all jobs. Let's say he's a senior, he has got all the permissions. So this is one of the strategies that could be used. Or else there is a different strategy that can be implemented. Like users and job one, job two, job. There were also strategies implemented. Depending on the expertise, experience, jobs may be assigned. Means just not by his experience, overall experience, maybe by his expertise. Like let's say user one has got development background. This deploy job one is a compile job. Let's say job one is a compile job. Job two is a test job. Job two is a test job. Job three is, let's say, some deployment job. Okay, user two may be a tester. He is from testing background, or else let's say he's a tester. He is a DevOps person, let's say. Okay, job one may be assigned to, like he might be given, job one is a compile job, right? So he might be having all permissions here. Here only read permissions. Right? Tester may be having all permissions here. Only read on other jobs. Similarly, DevOps team may have all permissions. Generally, DevOps team will have all permissions all over, but still, maybe, let's say they want to give permissions, let's say in DevOps team itself. Okay, senior may be given all permissions for deploy or whatever, and like they don't want to do anything and just view them. Means the whole point here is, this is one strategy. Like a person may have same permissions across all the jobs in your pipeline. This is another strategy where a person may have different permissions across different jobs. This is possible through another strategy called project-based authorization strategy. Project-based means depending on the job. Project means job. This is also possible. Which one to use? It depends on how they design their project, how the pipelines were designed. Each company, each project may have their own strategy depending on their design. So shall we do hands-on on project base? Got the difference?
Yeah.
Let's see this hands-on. We have seen matrix based. Now let's see project based. I'm logging out. Let me log out as admin. Means one person, one DevOps person will be given administrative permissions on Jenkins. Means only one person will have this manage Jenkins, like a senior member, right? Senior in the DevOps team or a lead may have this permissions. So credentials means this one. Some of you are asking credential. What do you do there? We will do that. Okay, we will use the color. So coming back to, sorry, not users. Coming back to security, we were using matrix based. Let's use project-based authorization strategy. Here again, add the users. If you are using users from different sources, you can add a group itself rather than adding individual users. Let me add user 1, user 2 as well. Okay. So first give overall read. And here, whatever permissions you give are like global permissions. Global means those are applicable for all the jobs. Okay, similarly, for a job, give overall read. Okay, for job, I'm showing you again, give overall permissions. Whatever permissions you feel like common permissions or general permissions to overall Jenkins, give here. Then how do you give job specific permissions? Save it. Job specific permissions will be given under each job. Configure. Here you will also see under general section. Till now we were using build steps. Go to general section, enable project based security. Here again there is a matrix, add the users here. User 1, user 2. Okay, so admin. User 1. I want this user 1 to have all permissions on the job. On this job, let's say. Okay, workspace. What is workspace? We'll say read. Move means you can move the job. Delete, configure, cancel, build, right? You know, all those options are self-explanatory. This user 2 should have only read, let's say, on this job. That's all. Okay, save it. Now let's go to job 1, job 2. Configure. Here under general, enable project based. Add the users. User 1. User 2. Here for admin, I'm giving all. User 2 should have all permissions here. Okay. User 1 should have only read. Got the difference, everyone? User 2 will have all permissions on job 2. User 1 will have all permissions on job 1. Right? Let's save it and test this. Login as user 1. User 1 should have all permissions on which job? Job 1, right? See, he has all
Yes, ma'am.
permissions on job 1. Same user have got different permissions on job 2. He can only view it. Maybe this job is not related to his expertise or he is not allocated with this task. So he have only read permissions. Right? Similarly, if you log in as user 2, we go to job 2, all permissions. We go to job 1. Clear now? These are the two strategies which can be helpful in real time. Matrix based authorization strategy and Project-based authorization strategy. Simple matrix-based means a person will have same permissions across all the jobs. Project-based authorization strategy means you can refine the permissions with a job level, at a job level. So meaning in simple, each user can have different permissions across different jobs.
And it can be changed on time also, maybe.
Hmm?
It can be changed, means as a project or something, so the permissions can also be changed.
Permissions can be changed, meaning?
Means like a user to has some kind of permission, so in the future maybe he don't have that type of permission, so we can change or manipulate.
You can always change,
Yeah.
right? It's just edit the job thing. As an admin user, you can edit the job and add the permissions or remove the permissions.
In real time, is there a role called Jenkins admin who can give the user credentials, access, restriction, all this?
This is the Jenkins admin, right? Here we created admin user.
Okay, yeah.
One user
there-
will have all admin permissions. This one.
Okay. And there is another two option, anonymous and then restricted authorized users. What is that, ma'am? It's created by
Anonymous
Jenkins.
means anyone. Anyone with this URL can access Jenkins.
Okay.
Authorized users means anyone with the credentials, like you have got, see, these are all human users, like admin. Of course, Jenkins users will be assigned to each user, right? So anyone with credentials can do anything in Jenkins. Authorized users means who have got the credentials.
Okay, got it.
How to change if we want to change the password of admin, how can we change?
Remind me at the end, okay, I'll show you if you want to change the password, okay? And coming here, actually under manage Jenkins, you can do that. Here you can edit and do anything with your users. Right, if you scroll down, you have the details, but admin user password, you should do it here. Here is it is. Okay. And see, we have seen two strategies. More than these two, there is one more strategy that's been very widely used, which is called role-based authorization strategy. It will be like combination of both. Can we proceed with the next strategy? This is the one which is used in real practice. There is something called role-based. See, I'm not seeing it. What should I do if I'm not seeing the option? Manage Jenkins plugins. Add, remove, disable, or enable that can extend the functionality. That's what our plugins, right? We were talking about them. So, see, they were again different tabs. Updates means already some plugins were installed. Any updates will be shown here. Available means all the thousands of plugins available for Jenkins. You don't need to learn, remember, or memorize them. They keep on adding there. Install, whichever already installed. In the beginning, if you remember, we installed default ones. So all of them can be shown here. If you want, you can also uninstall them. Some of them you cannot uninstall, like there's a dependent plugins. It's saying first uninstall the dependent plugin, right? And advanced setting is where you create custom plugins. We never do this. Let's come back. Okay, available. So many plugins are there. Okay, you don't remember them. Just search with now what I want. I need something related to role based. See, so this will help you. Search will help you. See, role based authorization strategy. Still, if you don't know what is it, see here, enables user authorization using a role based strategy. Roles can be defined globally or a particular job or nodes. If you want, you can also read that plugin documentation. Select it, meanwhile select it and install it. Okay, they were installing here. See, you can see. Meanwhile, you can read the documentation, how to use it, see how to configure it. You will see this option after installing the plugin and how to configure it, everything, example, all of that will be there, right? So yes, they were successful. Now, if you go to manage Jenkins, security, You should be able to see that option in the drop down. Yes, do you see that? That's what is given here. See, but of course, here it's a radio button, older version. Jenkins keep on upgrading. So the versions may differ, the display, the UI may change, but yeah, this is how you see a new option. We were seeing new option here, role based. Now let's select it. That's all. Save it. Then how do you create the roles? Whenever you save that, you will see this new option. Earlier, this option is not there. Have you noticed it? Under security, you have only users. You don't have it. But now you have another option here. Manage and assign roles. Handle permissions by creating roles and assigning them to users and groups. Let's select it. Global roles means overall roles, overall permissions. Okay, like admin, you may create some overall global kind of thing. Like let's say everyone is an employee. I would like to create a role as employee. Okay, I don't want him to administer. I'm just giving a read. Every employee should have read permissions. Okay, then item roles. Item roles means job specific roles. Like developer, tester, DevOps person, you may create different roles and assign a pattern, or pattern means which kind of jobs you can select. For example, I'll do one thing. I'll create a job which starts with a dev. Okay, for example, okay, this is, let's say developer should have all permissions on it. Just the name, let's say. See, generally every project will be prefixed with their project name, right? Kind of. Similarly, let's say it's a tester job. Let's test compile job. Let's say project 1, project 2. Okay. Let's say project 1, project 2, whatever it is, starting with all those jobs related to particular project may have same project name, right? Something like that. Now, go here. Now I would like to create a developer role. And I would like this developer to see or to work only with jobs related to him, like whichever starts with a dev. They will follow a naming pattern. This is a regular expression. Okay. Here you can see features for writing these patterns. You can use while characters, regular expressions for this. I'm using a simple while character star. Save it. Where is it? I did not click on add. So it is not added. Sorry. Developer. Developer and the pattern. He should see anything starting with the dev. Add the role. See, here it is added. Now this developer should have all permissions. See, job, all permissions. But for what type of jobs? Show matching. If you click this, see, it's matching only dev, starting with the dev. Got it. So you are filtering which user can see what jobs. But who is a developer? You will assign this role to user. We didn't do that. We'll do that. I'm just creating the roles. Later on, we'll assign the role to different users. Let me create one more role. Tester. Whichever starts with test. Okay, he should have, again, I did not add, I'm saved directly. We should first add it. Okay, add this. Now it comes up here. Give whatever permissions this tester should have. But on what jobs? What jobs will be decided by this pattern? See, it's listing. It's listing only test job. I have 4 jobs by now, but it was listing only 1 job. So I created a global role. I created a item roles. Item means job. Now, let's see what to do. See, there is something called assign roles. Okay, here, global roles. See, role is admin employee. Already I created the roles. They were there. Admin is admin user. Now here I'll add user 1. User 1 is an employee. He should first have overall read. User 2 is an employee. Overall read. He will get overall read. Correct? Then item roles. See, two roles were there, tester and developer. Again, add the users. User 2. Okay. Developer. User 1 is a developer. Let's say user 2 is a developer, tester. So, means all user 1, user 2 are employees. Then they have their own role, like user 1 is a developer, user 2 is a tester. Got it clear now? Apply, save, both save the configurations. But when you apply, you will remain on the same page. If you see, you will be navigated off from the page. Understood the concept now, role-based?
So in the patterns, like you have given dev dot asterisk, right? Dot, what is the dot indicates?
Dot means it will start with the dev and then it could be anything. After dot, it could be anything. Dot star means after dev, it could be anything.
Okay.
But out of these three, like purpose is same, right, ma'am? But you are saying this is the most commonly
This is
used.
the most used one because it's like a combination of both, right? Here you can
Yeah.
decide which person is what. If you make him employee, right, he will have overall. Now you can choose their roles, whether he's a developer or tester or whether he should have what permissions.
Got it. Yeah.
Or else, like you can also generalize with the different roles, like build user. It means build user means he can build the jobs. Or read user. You can create two more roles, irrespective of job if you want. Build user and read user. So what I'll do, build user means, here I'll create build user. Pattern is, let's say, he want to see starting with something like a job, anything starting with a job. Let's say that's some project name, okay, your project name. So let me add it. See, job 1, job 2. I'll also have read user for job project. Let's say job is my project name. Add it. Okay, build user will have all permissions on the job. Okay, but read user will have only read. Got it? So on a certain project, let's say there's a DevOps project. Okay, pipelines are there. There are so many users in the DevOps project. Some might be having build, some might be having read permissions. Once you give here, you go to assign roles. See, you will see these two roles also again. You read user, build user. Okay, here I'll add. I already added user 1, right? Of course, if you have more users, you can add them. Otherwise, yes, user 1 should be a build user. User 2 should be a read user. Means they will also see job 1, job 2, but user 1 will have all permissions on job 1, job 2. User 2 will have only view permissions. Understood the difference? Here, this helps you to manage your jobs better. So that unlike earlier, you go and give permissions on every job individually, you first create the roles, okay, and assign the roles to the users, which makes things simple, isn't it? Project-based means you should go to every job. You should add all the users and assign the permissions.
It
But here
saves a
you
lot of
create.
time in the future, ma'am. Means
No.
everything is ready, only you have to add the users.
Yes. First, jobs should be ready, right? Then only you talk about permissions. Without job,
Madam,
you don't create them, right?
madam, even in this scenario, can you provide job specific access?
Can we?
The way job specific access.
Job louder, please.
Okay. So can we give job specific access? So job 1 only this like user 1 access. Now after doing all these things,
This is what we did, right? Job 1, if you want to scrutinize, you put the pattern, more strict pattern.
okay.
Here job means it's giving me job 1. You want to select only this. You write your pattern such a way that it will match only this one.
Okay.
Mainly this role is done by the admin, so the normal user
Jenkins
will.
admin. Jenkins
Yeah,
admin.
so we are learning this is okay, but mostly we are like a user 1, 2, 3 something. So
Maybe you might be a senior in your project. You might be given admin permissions.
okay.
You are one of them, right? Or else later on you might be given admin permissions, you might be moving to lead position or senior position. If you are senior, you might be asked to do it. Or else if seniors don't are not interested, they might be assigning you, asking you to do, they might be reviewing it, right? They might give permissions. It all depends on the projects, right? So
Madam,
get some
another
idea.
question, madam. A similar question. Instead of like scrutinizing more on the roles, can I give access to these specific jobs? What I mean to say is now, like, you have two jobs, right? Job one, job two. Let's say I want to scrutinize more. User one should have access only to job one, not to the job two. So
You
in such
can write, right?
scenario,
You can match the pattern, put job one and give the permissions.
agreed. Like, but I don't want to do it that way. I want to go directly to the job and give access.
Then use project based only.
Okay. So I
Admin
mean, what
should
I'm
be
trying to ask
having
is,
actually all the permissions. No other user will have permission. Even project based also, admin only will have permissions.
okay.
You
So
have to
either we
first
can use,
see manage
okay.
Jenkins. You have to first see manage Jenkins. Manage Jenkins only will have this options. So let me log out here. Log in as user one. User one. See, right? Because develop compile we have given, and user one for job one, all of them you can see. I think job two we will have. I think we have given user one all permissions on job, right? So yes, he was seeing all of them. And user two is a tester. He will see test jobs. See, he is not seeing dev compile. You notice that? He was saying that because we made read user for this. See, we can only read them. He was a read user on jobs which start with job, right? Name job. Whereas this one all permissions, but he is not having any permissions on dev jobs.
Yeah, hi, madam. I have a question here. We have already assigned permission for user one and user two using metrics base, right? So it will be overridden.
Yeah, only one permission you can choose at a time. Only one strategy.
But it's there already, right? We didn't remove it, right?
Only one strategy you can select at a time. We are not selecting this means this has been used. It's removed already.
Okay, okay.
So this is about the user management. We will talk about build triggers. Till now, how are we triggering a job? Triggering means running a job. Go here and click on build now.
Manually. Click
Manual.
on build.
It's a manual. And if you see the console output, it clearly tells started by user admin. User admin started it manually. Can we automate it? Which is very important. That is nothing but build triggers or scheduling the builds automatically. There are multiple ways to do that. All right. So that's what we'll be talking in the next class. And then we will talk about the real jobs as well. Like we'll get introduced to the actual project in the next session.
Yeah, what's that icon indicates SML?
Which icon?
Yeah, below that grid, icon SML. Below that grid, right?
That's
Small,
a last
medium,
build
large.
status. This is not built. Yes. When you keep the cursor, you can see.
No, just below that icon SML.
Small, medium, large is there.
You can see
Icons.
small, medium, or large icons.
What's that meaning?
Small, these
Oh.
icons became small, medium,
Okay.
large. See, set up your Jenkins. Okay. This is majority of the things I can say will be self-explanatory. Like when you go for your when you go for a website, you just explore the things, right? It would be almost as simple as that. Okay. As long as you don't, please let me finish, then you can ask your questions, please. I was saying so. Yeah, you can explore to see what each option does. Majority of the things would be like you can understand when you look into them. Unless you do the hands-on, you will not get that vision. Okay, to have a better vision, like to see the things visually, let's get the hands-on. Okay, start the hands-on from today. At least if something else is pending on previous classes, let it be. But get started from today. Okay, once you log in, you can explore. When you keep the cursor, almost explains you like what it is, what it is, everything. So you will learn, you will enjoy learning it. So get started with that. Yes, some of you are asking some question. Can you please go ahead?
How to change the admin password? Is there any way?
Admin password. Okay, admin password. You can do it here. You can also do it on this page. Okay, you can also do it on this page, but when you change the password, you might be kicked out of your Jenkins. Here, there'll be go to your Jenkins home directory. Okay. Go to the Jenkins home directory. There should be an option there. I mean, a file. Where lib Jenkins. Okay. These are the Jenkins configurations. And there should be something, yeah, config.xml. Okay, to change the Jenkins admin password or something here, use security true means we were using security authorization. Okay, here you just change it to false. Okay, when you change it to false and start your Jenkins, you can be logged in without prompting for any credentials. Then go back and change it. Right, and then come back again once password is set, come back and make it true. See, the user we created, the roles we created, user 1, user 2, all of that are present here. Read users, test user.
Okay, ma'am, got it.
Ma'am,
All right.
yeah, ma'am, here there was a section of the project before job. You are just sending freely project, and so I'm not remembering, but there is some section Jenkins project section. There are some miss.
This one.
No, job before doing the job section, you do from the starting. So when you're selecting, ma'am, just do one create job. Yeah, this freely project pipeline, multi-configuration. What are all these, ma'am? We are going to see, or
Yes,
later,
we are
or
going to talk about.
okay.
Those are different types of jobs.
I was
jobs means
we have
what we can
yeah.
say, like jobs is like a kind of code we are saying, or means a little bit confusion in that. So just a
Job is like a task. Your job could be running your shell script like we created. Your job may be compiling the code. Your job might be deploying the code to a different server. Job is a task.
So we are just like job 3 is there, and we are just compiling a one code. So where is the code and all? So we are going to do that is
We did not create the actual or real jobs today. We
okay,
just
ma'am.
created sample jobs. How to configure we'll see. That's just
So
sample jobs we created.
okay, so before doing the any type of code compilation, so first we have to create the job all the times, and in that we have to define that this is our task to do. Is it like that, ma'am?
Yeah.
I'm right, ma'am?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So in
Ma'am,
real time, please go ahead.
yesterday I was installing the Jenkins, and during the installation of the plugins, it is stopped. I mean, it is not completely installed. A few of them installed, some of them not installed. So how can I restart it again? Because there is also an option to restart. I also restarted again. It is stuck on that same place. So if I wanted to continue again, the basic the plugins. So how can I do that in Jenkins?
First, make sure you are installing the right version of Jenkins. I mean, the right compatible version to your OS. Maybe you might be installing something else, which is away from, I mean, which is different from your Linux distribution. Double check the things. Okay. That's first
Okay.
thing. Second thing, even though you don't install Jenkins, you can navigate and go ahead with the next steps. Later on, you can install them. All right. Or else,
Okay.
like I said, and one more thing is sometimes because of bad bandwidth also or low bandwidth also this might happen. So check all these things.
Madam,
Okay.
if there is any firewall enabled also, the Jenkins will not install.
No, it will install because see here we are installing it on EC2 instance, right? EC2 instance firewall means that security groups. So you just open 8080, that should be fine. We are not doing on our Windows, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Preethi, like GitHub, even in Jenkins also we have enterprise edition in real time.
Jenkins, no, Jenkins is open source.
So there is no enterprise edition. So we can use. Okay.
No, it's open
So,
source.
okay. In a company, like even GitHub also is open source, but there is a like demo
Paid
version and then
version.
enterprise version.
Paid is for private repositories, right? You don't have anything on internet. It's open source.
Yeah. So in a company, like everyone, so they go with the dividing the project restriction access, right? Like we have in a company, suppose a
Yeah.
big company, so we will be using this tool Jenkins.
Yeah.
We'll be creating multiple projects so that we can have restricted access.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, every project will have its own permissions. Every user will be assigned with his own permissions.
Yeah.
Madam, in the last section in the Tomcat, we have installed some WAR file, right?
We deployed the WAR file.
Yeah, deployed WAR file. From
Correct.
where it is available in the document, I'm not seeing that the WAR file.
Go to Google, type in sample download, download sample WAR file.
Okay.
Download sample WAR file. You will be navigated to the first URL itself. There you will see a link. Copy that link.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, just one basic question, ma'am. Is like
And
the
also
there
one
is
second, Ujjwal. And
yeah, ma'am,
Srikanth,
please.
in the Linux page, there's, I think there's a separate page where you have a HTTPD, Nginx installation or Tomcat. There in those commands, that URL also might be there. Check out once again, okay?
Where is that? Come again, madam.
In the drive, you have Linux documentation, right?
Yes.
Linux commands, Linux folder. So in
Yes.
that folder, you have something for installing Nginx Tomcat in Linux. So there it might be present in the commands also.
Okay.
Check once.
Okay.
Yes, usual. Tell me, please.
It's just a normal, a very basic question. So, ma'am, before going to Jenkins, is it not mandatory? Means like Maven is after Jenkins or Jenkins is after is there is means what to study? Like you are teaching the Jenkins.
You can
So,
go with the same flow I'm doing.
no, because I'm not knowing anything about that. So I'm just asking you because the build is there, then Selenium is there, then deploy is there, and so I was just thinking that if Maven, okay, ma'am.
You can go with the same flow, Ujjwal.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, you don't need to have any prerequisites.
Here I didn't find it, madam, in that document. That's why.
Yeah, I am seeing it. I'm adding. Download sample WAR file. Okay. Copy the link. This is the link you have to put.
Okay.
Okay, that should help to a certain extent.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
then.
one more step, change the execution permission is needed.
Not needed. We are running
Okay.
everything as root.
Okay. Okay.
We are just restarting Tomcat, right? We are not executing the var file or anything. So
Okay.
to restart, you will need root user permissions. We are running as
Okay.
root. Otherwise, use sudo.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
All right, then. Thanks, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am, have a nice day, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.